Welcome back to Explaining Everything, the channel where we dive into the stories and mysteries behind everyday things. Today's question comes from a curious viewer, Spicy Watanabe 47. Thanks for the suggestion, Spicy Watanabe. You asked, why does takeout sushi always include plastic grass? You know exactly what we're talking about. You open your little sushi container, and there it is. That green, zigzaggy divider that looks like a leaf's edgy cousin. It doesn't smell like anything, and it just kind of exists there, menacingly. But it turns out that tiny fake shrub has a fascinating purpose and a little drama in its past. Let's get into it. Right here on Explaining Everything. You might think the plastic grass, known as Baran in Japanese, is just a decoration, a little plastic garnish to make your California roll feel more exotic. Nope. It actually started as a very practical food safety tool. Originally, sushi shops in Japan used real leaves, especially the leaves of a plant called sasa. That's bamboo grass. These leaves weren't just chosen because they looked nice. They had antimicrobial properties. In other words, they helped keep raw fish from turning into a science experiment. The bamboo leaves were cut and used as dividers between different types of food, particularly raw fish and rice, to slow the growth of bacteria. They also helped prevent flavors from mixing, which is great because no one wants their tuna roll tasting like yesterday's egg salad. Enter the 20th century. Modern sushi to go became a thing, and so did food packaging on an industrial scale. And you know what doesn't grow on trees? Trees. Just kidding. But harvesting real bamboo leaves takes time and money. Also, they don't last forever, and they don't exactly scream mass production. So, manufacturers in post-war Japan started creating artificial versions of Baran made from plastic. These synthetic leaves mimicked the real thing in appearance, and more importantly, function. They kept sushi visually separated, helped maintain presentation, and created a psychological sense of freshness, all without wilting or molding or requiring a gardener. Now, you might be thinking, does a little green divider really do all that much? First of all, yes, Baran still plays a subtle role in food safety and cleanliness. It acts as a barrier between different items in a bento box or sushi tray. That keeps wet things from touching dry things, and flavors from getting all up in each other's business. Second, there's presentation. The green grass gives a splash of color to an otherwise beige and pink party. Sushi is one of those foods where looks matter a lot, and the plastic grass, it's like the parsley of Japan. It doesn't do much, but if it's missing, you feel weird about it. And let's be real, if your sushi came without that divider, wouldn't you assume something was missing? Like the chef forgot to install the airbags? Now here's where it gets controversial. Not everyone likes the plastic grass. In fact, there's a bit of a generational divide in Japan. Some older folks feel nostalgic for real bamboo leaves and think the plastic stuff looks cheap and soulless, kind of like replacing grandma's tea set with a paper cup that says blessed. Others see it as a quaint symbol of old-school bento culture. It's become so iconic that even emoji designers included a little Baran-style divider in the sushi emoji. That's cultural clout. And yes, there are environmental concerns. Plastic Baran is usually not recyclable. Some companies in Japan have responded by switching to biodegradable versions made from starch or recycled paper. So, your sushi might soon be rocking a more eco-friendly accessory. Basically, your lunch is getting a sustainability makeover. Despite being a relic of practical necessity, Baran has stuck around because it works. It's cheap, recognizable, and weirdly comforting. There's something oddly satisfying about seeing your sushi lined up neatly with little green walls between them, like they're roommates who get along but still need their personal space. Also, let's admit it, it's kind of fun. As kids, we'd poke at it with chopsticks or wear it as a mustache. As adults, we just pretend we don't still do that. It's a descendant of a centuries-old food safety tradition, a clever packaging trick, and maybe, just maybe, a tiny green hug for your tuna roll. So the next time you open your sushi takeout and see that strip of bright green plastic grass, give it a nod of appreciation. It's not just there to look pretty. Even though its original purpose, fighting bacteria, is less relevant now with refrigeration and better hygiene, Baran hangs on like that one office plant no one waters but miraculously survives. And maybe that's the real magic of it. It's one of those tiny overlooked details that adds character to something simple, like the crunch in your tempura or the soy sauce packets shaped like little fish. You don't need it, but once it's there, you'd miss it if it disappeared. If you're now done eating those takeout sushi, right as we're ending the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember, do not eat the plastic grass. I know it's tempting. Also, if you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for tuning in, and join us next time here in the channel that answers all the why, what, who, where, and how questions you've always wondered about, here on Explaining Everything.